Atheist sent back to jail for not attending Bible study. What the hell? This is in Colorado, United States. I thought this. What? Okay, let me see the summary is. Number four. The summary is when atheist Mark Janny was released from jail, his parole officer told him that if he wanted to remain out of prison, he would have to live at Denver Rescue Mission, a Christian homeless shelter. That shelter's rules required residents to participate in worship services, Bible studies, and faith-based counseling, none of which Jenny had any desire to join. So Jenny went to the shelter but didn't participate in the religious activities, and because of that, uh, Gamez revoked his parole and sent Jenny back to jail for 5 more months. The ACLU and American United Separation of Church and States are now assisting Jenny in a lawsuit. Oh, rightfully so. Holy shit! Imagine United States is still a country where you could go to back to whether you go to jail or not is decided on whether on if you're reading the Bible. How like what? I mean, this is supposed to be like the most advanced countries in the world, and you're still deciding whether people are going to jail or not based on that. Like that's I didn't like I honestly like this is the United States we're talking about. This is amazing. Holy shit. What do you guys think?
I want to say like when Jenny like said like he won't be, he didn't want to go to the shelter, the Christian shelter. He suggested another option, which is like friends of his family. He could go there and stay on parole, but the officer rejected that. And when he tried to represent himself in the court also declined the plea.
Okay, wait, so the court took the side of who?
Basically, no, the court declined the plea of him representing himself in this case.
Uh,
They
Yeah,
completely declined the case.
before the ACLU and Americans United for Separation of Church and State represented him, he tried to sue about this and he represented himself and they threw it out. Like Shipum was saying, they wouldn't
Oh.
even accept his
Wow.
appeal because they say anyone who represents himself as a fool for a client. I mean, it probably, yeah,
Could it be because like he was an atheist and he didn't like that's what also inspired like them to decline it? Is it possible?
no, it probably is that he didn't file something properly or didn't follow specific procedure. I mean, it's very difficult to represent yourself, especially properly. I mean, especially if you're filing a brief or you're filing an appeal or something. So, but then the ACLU and Americans United took up the case, and then they filed uh, a brief about it, and you can actually read it on the ACLU website. There's not very much other documentation about this other than the Friendly Atheist and ACLU Americans United brief, but there is this thing on their article about it, how he went to the mission after his suggestion was rejected by his parole officer, and he requested to be excused from the required religious activities, and they refused, the parole officer and the people who run the religious mission. And so when he decided, well, he wasn't going to go anyways, then they threw him back in jail. But and he also tried to again be find someplace else to live, and they have this compulsory religious worship, which, by the way, is a big problem for people in jail or in drug programs, because most of them are religious. And there's actually a bill in the United States for secular um, recovery programs and secular programs for people, because they force people to go to religious type of programming, and there's case
your microphone
history on
again.
it. There's
When you
actually
speak-
case history on it. The Native American guy it was found for him because he was forced to go to some religious recovery program, some religious halfway house or something. And the court found for him, and then there was another one. I can't remember what his name was. Half Tree or Holy Tree. I wish I could remember. So yeah, there is precedent on this, but the problem is most of the offerings that people have for recovery, halfway houses, all those things in the United States are religious, or the funding is religious. So you might have, they're not getting any funding.
Rivka, when your audio goes up, it gets cut. So maybe get a new headset for next time. I don't know. We'll see. But that was okay. So that was a Michael Sherlock is actually adding a comment here saying, what this betokens, is that a word? Betokens, a larger problem that still exists in secular countries. Religion still has a stranglehold on charitable institutions that are officially endorsed by governments without non-religious alternatives.
Exactly.
That's a very good point. And okay, Chopin wanted to say something. You're muted.
No, I was just like wanted to say like Rivka's voice when it's getting on a high level, the microphone's getting cut.
Yeah.
And the noise is really bad for me.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. But here's another thing. I wonder how many people don't even get parole because from the beginning they're like they're not gonna accept doing Bible studies and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like we know about this because he is it a he decided to, like, they took him to Bible study and he didn't do the Bible study, so like, okay, back to jail you go. But how many cases that we don't hear about that they just had to stay in jail just because there was no secular alternative to begin with, but we don't even hear about it because they didn't get kicked out or anything like that. All right. Michael is saying, I'm going to buy Armin a dictionary. What the hell? Okay, I know my vocabulary is not that strong. First of all, English is my second language, so fuck you, Michael. Second of all, to be fair, the word that you use is even native English speaking people, I'm pretty sure most of them don't know that. So I'm not even upset. So whatever.
And then you will go to Iran and say, oh, Persia, I'm staying with English speaking people, so I can't speak Persian anymore.
Right. All right, let's news. Thank you for joining us. Subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell thingy. If you haven't, I don't know why. What's holding you back? Okay. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, why haven't you subscribed to our channel? Explain that to us, please. Like, bell, and also if you're not getting notifications and stuff because YouTube is not telling people that we have shows, because YouTube is like, oh, this person told us that they want to get your shows, right? They want to get your videos, but nah, we think is no. And they also hit the bell button, but nah, you guys are too controversial. We want to show them mainstream stuff. We want to show them CNN or cat videos or whatever. But people are like, no, we want to see Atheist Republic. And YouTube is like, no, we don't think you want this. We're like, no, please show it to us. We say to you, we want to see Atheist Republic. And YouTube is like, no, we think we know what's better for you than you yourself. So to solve that, there's a link in the description, which is to our newsletter. So hopefully we could email it to you. So hopefully you get some of our content that way. Okay. So yeah, subscribe to our newsletter as well. And share our videos, because we do get demonetized. That's an obvious on every one of our videos. So F that. But we don't care about that anymore. But we also get deprioritized. And that's even more damaging to us. Deprioritized, what does that mean? That means we don't show up on the suggested, videos on the right and all that, on people's homepages. And that's how channels grow. Unfortunately, we can't grow. So we need you guys to share our videos.